Hi everyone, I'm creating a screencast-o-matic for you to talk about teaching and learning with technology. Basically, I want to share some of the tools that I use in my own EdTech toolkit briefly, and please note that these are mostly free tools. So let's start with audio, video, instant capture tools. I like to start with YouTube. It provides a variety of features, but what I like is the instant video capture using my built-in web camera. I can say that I've been very pleased with my YouTube experience. Note that I create my videos by using the upload link in the upper right-hand corner here, and on the right-hand side you see the webcam option. I can also select to add closed captioning to the videos that I create. After creating a video, the upload can take a couple of hours and the closed captioning can take up to a full day. But the video quality is really quite amazing. You can see an example of an YouTube instant capture video with the introduction video I did for this course. You can go there real quick as a quick reminder.
Hello, Sloan C.
And as you can see at the bottom, I was able to add the closed captioning. Very neat feature. The next tool that I would share with you is Screencast-O-Matic. It's a definite favorite. I'm using it right now to do this sharing demonstration video. It allows for both screen capture and audio voiceover. It's great for those just-in-time tutorials as well as for content development. For example, I once did a unit on blogs for my students, and I used a professionally done video that maybe you've seen called Blogs in Plain English, but then I added a screencast of my own where I provided a personal touch showing my students how I use blogs, some examples of different types of blogs, and some information on how to get started with a couple of blogs. Note that there is a free version of Screencast-O-Matic, but I do pay for the Pro because I use it a lot. One thing to note is that for ease of use and long-term use, I save my screencasts that I create in Screencast-O-Matic to YouTube. One final thing to note about Screencast-O-Matic is that I am using it on a Mac, and Macs have been difficult recently with Java, and so instead of using it in my browser, which is pretty cool and fun to do for those of you on Windows machines, I actually do the download and install and use it that way. And so I like to add the audio, video, instant capture tools to increase presence and actual instructor identity. I read an article, shown here, about identity and presence in an online course called Are You Representin'? Instructor Identity and Online Courses by Lynn Kirkland Harvey. I thought it was a good read. Check it out if you want. To keep track on new research available on this topic, you might go to Google or scholar.google and add the following: audio, video, and presence in online courses, or multimedia and presence in online courses. All right, so the next category I'm going to talk about is multimedia and animation. Voki is an awesome animation tool. It can also be considered an audio capture tool, but it's really fun and I'm adding it to the animation group. So I once was able to create an entire course introduction with Voki in 1 minute. Also, I found out in one course where I posted the same message with Voki, this animation tool, and with Vidler, the video tool that I was using at the time, and then I asked everyone which they preferred. Everyone preferred the Voki. Not really sure how I should feel about that. Anyway, so I often provide a Voki sometime during a course for engagement and fun. My favorite tool right now, however, is Telegami. Telegami is app-based, and I create mine on my iPhone. It provides, like Voki, super short animated messages between 30 and 60 seconds, and it's really fast to do. A few other animation tools that are really cool to use would be Animoto, which allows you to combine images, slides, sometimes captions, and music for jazzy multimedia pieces. You can also use your own created audio files. Animoto does have an education version. That's where we are here, is the education version. Another one is Go Animate and Powtoon and Movely. These animation tools are really fun to create with, but they do take a bit longer than tools like Voki and Telegami and maybe even Animoto. But they're so fun, and I highly recommend using them to increase engagement And I do have a fun short story to tell where probably last year sometime I was getting ready to post the multimedia for week 10, and I needed to do it on Sunday because Monday I was going to be busy. That was when we had our beginning of the week starting on Monday instead of like we do now on Wednesday. But anyways, it was 10 o'clock at night and I realized I needed to get this done. I had meetings first thing the next morning. And I was already in my pajamas, and normally I would be doing a YouTube video, with the video of myself. But to do that, if you're going to do some video like that, you actually need to prepare. And I needed to have my hair done and my makeup and the lighting right. And so I decided to play with a tool called Xtranormal. Xtranormal is no longer available, but it was a very fun animation tool like GoAnimate, Pout, and Powtoon. So I created this video, and come to find out though, it did charge $10 per month in order to publish it. So, gotta say, that was the best $10 I've ever spent because I didn't have to get up at 10 o'clock in the evening and do my makeup and my hair and prepare for an actual video of myself. Anyway, moving on, the next set of tools we'll talk about is group work and collaboration tools, and my favorites for those are Skype and Google Docs especially. So starting with Skype, I used to provide regular office hours, and I do recommend this. However, because I work online all day long, they proved to be unnecessary for me as my students who are in my online classes contact me when they need me. So during the first week of class, I also used to provide extra credit, and sometimes I still do, for students to contact me in Skype. At the end of the course, and sometimes even in the middle of the course, I might schedule a 15 to 30-minute meeting with each learner as part of learner assessment and course evaluation. A key use of Skype is for students to work with each other, increasing student-to-student interaction. I encourage study buddies and study groups. Not all students need or want this, but I've received a lot of feedback about how this made the difference for many learners and their satisfaction and success in my courses. Google Drive used to be called Google Docs, but recently changed to Drive. When you look at the options available, Documents is only one of the options, so changing to Google Drive was a logical thing to do. I use Google Docs extensively on a personal level and Google Drive, but mostly Google Docs, as you can see with the list of files in my recent Drive area. I use a form with spreadsheets in my classes to help students share information such as times of availability and areas of interest or expertise. This helps in the process of forming groups. I also support students in the use of Skype and Google Drive in order to successfully and efficiently conduct collaborative group work. I actually have shared an article with you all about phases, scaffolds, technology, and collaboration. Of note, some of my students do like to use the feature in Google Plus that allows you to do Google Hangouts. So instead of using Skype and Google Docs, they might use Google Hangouts and Google Docs to successfully complete their work. Either way, it's a great set of tools to get collaborative group work done. One thing to maybe quickly note would be when we go into a Google document, the reason that it is such a great tool for collaboration is that when you're in a Google document, more than one person, in fact up to 30 people, can be contributing to a document at the same time. You would have to have some plans for that many people, but with a group of 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6 people, that is manageable. And you would see folks' icons in the upper right hand corner indicating who the people are in the document. You can also pull up a chat area when you're working in a document and be chatting with each other. You can insert comments, all kinds of great tools that can be used in a Google Doc. So the reasons for it being such a great collaborative tool should definitely be further explored. One final tool that I often share for collaboration, group work publishing is Pbworks. There is an education version of Pbworks. It is a wiki tool. And another wiki tool you might be familiar with is Wiki Spaces. I love wikis. The people that I work with love wikis. We love them so much we pay for an upgraded version. And the upgrade allows for different levels of user and security management, branding and personalizing. However, the free one is really usable and user-friendly and provides a lot of features as well. So I love wikis for student collaboration work, student work in general, content preservation, program information, etc. My personal website is actually done with a Pbworks wiki that I redirect my domain name of juliaparra.com to that wiki. Another category of tools that we can look at is social bookmarking, also being called curation now. I used to do a lot of social bookmarking with tools like Delicious and Digo, but I haven't used them much recently because of the power of Google and tools like Twitter and Pinterest and things like that, but they're really good to know about. Delicious is a social bookmarking tool. I used to use it to tag resources that I find on the internet and then provide a link in my courses or units for students to access. For example, my CEL 560 or 580 classes have a tag, and I find relevant resources for those classes and then provide a link just for that tag in the course. Sorry about my dog snoring in the background. She's very sleepy. The other tool that I was talking about is Digo, and Delicious doesn't seem to be as maintained anymore, so I was able to export all of my Delicious tags into Digo, and Digo actually has some really cool features that I've heard other people talk about. I haven't used them myself recently, but things like putting little sticky notes and being able to embed things, creating tag clouds. Delicious created tag clouds as well, but like I said, Delicious not quite as popular these days as Digo is. Also, you want to think about scholarly bookmarking tools like Cite You Like, Bibsonomy, and my students highly recommend one called Zotero. So these tools are very list-like curation tools, citation tools. A couple of others that are more maybe graphically oriented, more newsletter-like, but still provide curation opportunity are tools like Scoop It and then Storify that allows you to pull together pieces from multimedia pieces and social networking pieces. So this is a Storify that pulled in tweets. And finally, social networking tools. A couple of my favorites are Twitter and Pinterest. I've been using Twitter a lot in my educational learning technology classes because it helps accomplish several learning goals. I use an activity that I created in the Sloan C workshop about collaboration, and I've shared that with you as well. It's called the Twitter Top 5. I use this activity to provide fun activity, group work, in supporting students in developing the skills they need for online collaborative group work. So it's the fun project before the major project, kind of scaffolding them in. I also use it to help them understand the concept of personal learning networks. And finally, Pinterest. Let's go find Pinterest. I'm hanging out in Pinterest a lot. It's either the worst tool ever created or the best tool ever created. You can get sucked into Pinterest very easily. And I love it for personal reasons, but there are lots of reasons to hang out here for educational purposes. So this is one of the boards that I've created. It's Desert Jules EdTech Toolkit, and it goes along with like my Jules Tools document where you can find many more resources that I like to use or have used or students have shared with me or colleagues have shared with me. So pretty much anything that is of interest to me related to fun learning technologies is in this document. Also, remembering my website, you can go and find all of my identity pages on my interwebs page. Some of them I'm using at this time, some of them I haven't used for a while, some of them I used very briefly, but these are all the identity pages of many tools that I have interacted with. So that's it for now. Have a great week, everyone, and I'll see you online.